Alright, so if you watched my last video, I've been in the process of enhancing my storage on the Jeep Gladiator bed. Really, this will work on any, like Toyota Tacoma to just any truck in general, but especially trucks that have limited bed space and the trail rail system, because everything I'm building is made to be mounted to the trail rail system, so I can basically just unbolt it whenever I want. So I've been complaining about the swing case. It's been falling apart. Get some close-ups in a second, and I think I have the solution. Surplus ammo cans. So although a little small, I think 2 of these should have about the same cubic inch storage space as the swing case. Definitely more, so I can fit all the recovery gear in 2 of these without a doubt. But there are some minor issues that I didn't account for that I'll be modifying. Luckily these are steel, and I have the ability to melt metal together to solve a lot of problems. So the first time I went off-roading after buying this was in Michigan, and I took this truck on the short track dirt course, and I went over some jumps, and I didn't go super airborne, but I went airborne enough, or the rear end did, that this was the only thing holding it, which is just a little tiny latch. And all the tools just shot out, and the lid blew off. When the lid blew off, it broke the plastic hinges. Like, plastic hinges? Are you serious for a truck case? This is terrible. So I JB welded it back together. It's holding up. Like, it's pretty sturdy now because I have a ratchet strap around it and 2 straps holding down the lid. This isn't gonna work. And my thought process is that these are a little bit narrower and obviously not quite as deep, which means I'm still gonna have access to the tie down here, which I don't have a lot of access to now. Like, a lot of times it pushes up on the swing case, which is fine because it's a piece of junk anyway, but now I won't have to worry about that. And these are metal. So I think if I just mount these 2 on the side, they won't stick out much past the wheel well, so I'm not losing a lot of usable bed space anyway. But there is a problem, right? Because you can see these are butted up against each other right now, and in order to use them like that, that's not going to fly. All right, so step number 1 is to just clean cut this off to allow it to hinge and not catch on that. Not going to mess with anything else, just one zzz. As you see, that does kind of pop out though, so I'm going to probably just tack that together, but that solves that problem, and you can't be any closer than that anyway, because you can see the lid sticks out further than that. So sweet, all you have to do is chop that little section off so that you can actually open this thing. So that ought to do it. Just run a quick bead. Zzz, zzz. That ought to do it. Now traditionally, I weld a lot more than I need, but in this case, this is going to be more than enough. All it has to do is keep this flap closed. So I don't want to put too much heat into this. Just put a little spray paint over it, boom, done. Timber. All right, so as far as the measurements go, to get it to sit, it's below my bed rail line. That's because I have the canopy top thing. So this would technically sit slightly above the bed if you didn't have this. But it doesn't really, but you can sit it lower. It's not really that big of a deal. The issue becomes how close to the lid do you want to get for the bolt. And I'm doing mine exactly 3 inches below. So I'm gonna go as far over here essentially as I can. I'm gonna turn this so that I can get a good mark. So 3 inches down. So it's pretty darn close. And here I might just go as close as I can to the bracing. I didn't want to mess with the bracing because it does a really good job. So on the top. You could also just trim this entire section of the ammo. This doesn't do anything. The rubber seal is all the way up here. You could definitely trim this here and have 0 impact. But I'm leaving it for structure because it doesn't interfere with anything. It's pretty sweet. I'm gonna drill these 3/8" holes, and that might be it for the night. All right, so I ended up just putting a bunch of coats of clear coat on here. A bunch of coats of clear coat, just to kind of keep the patina, is what they call it. It kind of sucks that, you know, somebody ended up spray painting some yellow on there, and it kind of sucks that I ground the green off here because I almost welded the wrong side, but that looks pretty cool. That's the final mount up there. And as far as sturdiness goes, it's not hitting anything. It dances a little bit. You could, of course, add like another bracket on the bottom for more of a permanent install, but I'm just putting recovery gear in here, so this is perfectly sufficient for me, and that way it's only held on by 2 bolts, so I can remove them if I ever need the entire bed to, like, I don't know, move or something like that. As far as spacing goes, so you see that is enough to open the lid, but it's still super tight to the side of the bed, which is obviously what you want if you're doing something like this, because you want it to not take up any more of the bed than you need. This is my setup. A little janky. You could probably figure out a different spacer solution, but yeah, I basically have this washer pushed up against the trail rail to give it a little bit of structure. Literally just used a castle nut as a spacer. That's what, you know, pushes it out a little bit. This other washer here is mashed between the spacer, again, to kind of maintain structure, and mashed between the ammo can. That's what this long piece of metal is supposed to signify. This is on the inside of the ammo can, just to make sure I don't have any pull-through issues. And of course, that's just the bolt head. So, we go up here and we look inside the ammo can. All you see on the inside is that. So, not really taking up any serious space. And you can probably see in there. That's what you see if you look really closely. It'd probably look better with a spacer, but the castle nut is my spacer, and that works good enough for me. And when the lid's down, you can't see anything at all. So, all's well. I did buy a lock kit that you drill a little hole right here, and then you can push a lock through there. And I'm gonna use these locks. They're supposed to be outdoor rated. It's to keep honest people honest. It's not to stop thieves. It's turned out pretty great. They stick out just a skosh further than the wheel well, but I don't know that you can ask for much closer and tighter than this, especially from a random object like an ammo can. I decided to just clear coat over. They look pretty cool. I mean, they're ammo cans, right? That's pretty sweet. Plus, maybe somebody will think I'm carrying 40mm grenades. That's always a win. Stay away. But successfully reclaiming all this bed space. Putting a 40 in the bed kind of sucks, takes up a lot of space, but you can get a lot back. Wanted to give you an idea of how much you can fit in here recovery gear wise. So in this one alone, I've got basically extra stuff over there. I don't even need that one. You have everything you need in one ammo can. So recovery strap, gotta have one of them, or recovery rope, whatever you prefer. 2 shackles, not necessarily for me, but I wanted to make sure I had them because some people still have wire rope and sometimes you use them on tree straps and stuff. Just nice to have. I had space, why not? Synthetic recovery rings, or I don't even know what these are called, but you guys know what they are, hopefully. And if you don't know what they're for, then, well, I'm not here to explain that now. Soft shackles, must. 1, 2. 1 snatch block. The other snatch block is up there, but 1 snatch block in the back. And tree strap. I have another tree strap and that one just in case this one breaks or finally gets worn out. That's everything. So you can fit basically everything you need for your standard recovery in one case. And I've got a bonus case with even more. So this worked out great. Now to put all this back. I could definitely fit more in there if I needed to.